So, the Russo brothers are going to organize a Avengers Doomsday event? That's something that I could get on board with. Check this out here.
The Avengers Doomsday trailer release date might have just been revealed by the Russo brothers themselves. They have teased another cryptic photo online, and of course,
An event for the trailer,
this
huh?
could mean it could be giving us the exact trailer release date, or it might be teasing something else that, of course, we'll break down in this video. And we're also going to go over some really cool new plot leaks that I think add a lot to what we know so far about Avengers Doomsday. What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel today. You probably have seen something about this at some point in time. I think there's a little bit more to the Russo's cryptic post that meets the eye, but let's break it down. So they posted just a green background. That's all they posted. They posted just this, but they did...
That's a mystery shit, and you know the fans will do the digging.
Tag a few accounts, and I think this is very important. One, they tagged Marvel Studios, the Avengers account, and Robert Downey Jr. Obviously, this is something related to Avengers Doomsday, right? So it's not just, oh, we're going to put out green and it's kind of going to be a tease for Doom, but it's actually something totally different. No. Based on who they tagged, it actually is related to Avengers Doomsday. And they tagged AGBO Films and SXSW London, and AGBO Films even commented something is brewing. So something is about to happen. It could be the trailer release date, because Eagle Eye fans have noticed that the hex code for this specific green, if you're not aware, if you ever go to like a store to get paint, each paint has a hex code, right? That's how they identify what exact hue or shade of a certain color is, because there's many different shades of all of the colors.
We'll assume this color is the color Doom is going to use. I'm colorblind, but okay.
They posted...
I don't see in black and white. I told people before that I'm colorblind, and they thought I saw in black and white. No, I see colors, and I can actually match the wrong color. Like if I think... I told Scarlo the other day, there was an outfit that I could have swore was brown that I had for work. The shirt, the tie, the not the shoes, the pants, everything. I thought it was brown. It was a green outfit. Yeah, a girlfriend ended up telling me. She was like, well, you got that green outfit. And I'm like, what green outfit? She was like, the one you wore the other day. I was like, that's brown. She was like, no, it's not. That's a green outfit. So sometimes I get certain, it's kind of like a spectrum of kind of like, I'll mess up certain pinks and purples. Sometimes even depending on how deep a red is, sometimes I'll confuse it for kind of like a rust. You know, like, yeah, it's weird for me.
The image last night with no caption, 2 nights ago, sorry, with no caption, and after people have examined the hex code, it looks like that code is 71826A, or 7/18/2026. Avengers, July 18th, 2026, with the A standing for Avengers. A lot of people think that this means this is the official release date for the Avengers Doomsday trailer. It very well could be. But it also might not be. Now, This is pretty close to San Diego Comic-Con, and I have been stating that I think San Diego Comic-Con is going to be really big. It's going to be a massive event for Marvel. They might reveal the trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, or they might reveal a little something more if the trailer comes out before. So I think it's still very possible that the trailer could come out before San Diego Comic-Con, so they can have the cast on stage, so they can show the trailer to a live audience without worrying about it leaking, because it's definitely not the same security as CinemaCon is. So I think doing it right before makes a lot of sense, but it also makes sense that they would just save it for SDCC. This could be a tease by them, but just to play devil's advocate for a little bit here, it is very interesting that they tagged SXSW London, because this takes place the first week of June, and they have already posted, actually their post before this cryptic photo is talking about this event. They state, Mr. Stark, we don't feel so good about how excited we are. Avengers Infinity War is coming to SXSW London for a special screening on June 2nd, 2026, with an extended intro from the Russo brothers and other special guests. Well, that extended intro and the other special guest might be Robert Downey Jr. and the intro might be about Avengers Doomsday because, again, they tagged SXSW London. Now, this does not coincide with the hue number / release date that belongs to the green.
Okay.
So it's possible they could be doing two different things. They might drop something at SXSW London next week. It's very possible. And it's possible this might be the release date. But also keep in mind, the Russo brothers, they like to post cryptic things. And they never really answer what they are. The look closer, look hard, those photos, they've never actually addressed them and been like, oh yeah, this is what it actually was. We've never gotten any answers. This might be that same thing. But I would keep an eye on that release date, but unlike some people are saying, this is not confirmed. It's not officially confirmed. It's a theory. It's a cool find. It might happen. Once we get closer to it, I'm sure we'll hear more, so be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you don't miss out on any of the news, because we'll be sure to do an update about it. But regardless, I think it is a cool find, and it is a heck of a coincidence. A real big coincidence, and it could mean something. But moving on to a really interesting plot leak. This is coming from somebody who has seen the movie, according to them, right? This report has been going on online. A lot of people have been like, yeah, this is
I was just about to stop the video. I was like, okay, we found out about the event. There's a new plot leak.
And a lot of what's in here.
A new plot leak almost every day, bull.
What we have heard from previous plot leaks. So I'm not going to go over everything because we've heard it before. But we did the other day go over what they say the ending of the post-credit scene is like. But there are some other things in here that I think really add to what we know already. So we're going to go over them. For example, they say once the Fantastic Four get there to the 616 universe, everybody comes together. They end up forming a council. Doom is there. They share everything. Shuri is there.
The Council of Kings.
Everybody comes together.
Of course
and
not.
The reason this says that they go to the X-Men universe is because Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, realizes that Monica Rambeau is trapped in another universe. And they figure out her energy signature to try and track her down with Reed's technology, Shuri's technology, and Doctor Doom's technology. This also says that when Doctor Doom originally arrives at the Fantastic Four in that post-credit scene, he has already done some multiversal stuff. He's already figured out a lot of the multiverse, so it would make sense to track signatures, even though I'm quite sure he already knows what awaits
I believe that.
The X-Men universe. So when they get there, this is what it says happens. On the X-Men side, this world is not treated as a clean ally world. It is a universe that has already survived multiple incursions. They're paranoid, and they assume any outside arrival means destruction. This is what I've theorized about for a long time. If somebody shows up, they are immediately going
already hostile,
and that's why they fight. And that's what it says. The heroes land there to build the second part of the separation plan, which is what Reed and everybody came up with. We can put giant cannons on universes and push them away from each other.
Right.
So the locals do not trust them. So basically when the X-Men see them, it becomes a huge fight. Nightcrawler ambushes them inside the X-Men mansion with his sword. Cyclops goes against Sam.
Never knew that Nightcrawler had a sword.
Yelena corners Mystique, but then Mystique turns into Yelena. Gambit has scenes with Shang-Chi, of course, and they say it's rings versus stick, which I think is funny, but still, that's going to be awesome. Deadpool humiliating Reed Richards in a gag. We've heard about that too. Basically teabags him from what we've heard. Monica is caught off guard, unsure who to help. That's really interesting. The turning point comes when Yelena is nearly killed by Mystique, which causes Bob to go out of control. It isn't until Professor X restrains him in the psychic realm that everything returns to normal. Both sides then make peace and begin implementing the solution to the incursions. Just when I think everything has settled into peace, the X-Mansion is suddenly struck. Sentinels imbued with green magical energy.
Get down here, Sentinel.
Amid the ruins, desperate Cyclops battles the Sentinels. As the Sentinels close in on the X-Mansion, Professor X and Magneto resolve to make their last stand. Then Magneto speaks the line, which is in the trailer. This sounds really great. This sounds pretty much about what we've heard before. Offers a little bit more details, though. The reason that Century actually freaks out again and gets into the battle is because of Yelena, which makes sense. She's the person who, from the very beginning, treated him nicely. And
I'm so done with her anyway. Like, if they took her out, I'd be fine. I want Black Widow back.
Cared about him. and brought him back. The whole team did, but everyone's kind of douchey towards him in the beginning, or at least don't really care. Yelena did from the beginning. She looked out for him. So if she's about to die, and let's face it, she's a little out of her league here, right? You got X-Men with crazy powers, and she's not a super soldier. She's awesome. I really love her character.
Yeah, I remember when people told me that the Black Widows actually are super soldiers. They have like a less powerful version of the Captain America super soldier serum. I never knew that. That would have been cool if they made them that. They'd have been able, they could have made them do more fantastical stuff. I think that sucks. It doesn't make any sense. Why bring someone in and depower them? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Sure. And she's trained, she's an assassin, but if you're going up against mutants, X-Men, yeah, you might be in for a hell of a battle there. So when she's about to be killed, Sentry loses it and he snaps, and that's why we get kind of the void coming out again, and that's why Professor X has to calm him down. And I'm sure once he is in his mind, he realizes that they're not here to actually destroy them, but they are there for a very specific plan. So I really like that. Now, after that, it basically says everything that we've heard is going to happen happens. Team kind of splits up. Thor and Steve Rogers go to visit Loki. The TVA is destroyed. They realize Doom's the enemy. They come back. They tell everybody. And then they all decide to go to Latveria. This is where it says, the scene shifts to Latveria. Doom introduces Steve in Latveria to his assistant, who is named Boris. That's from the comics as well. Spotted cameos from Doctor Strange, because Doom has masked followers, who, judging by their silhouettes, appear to be women. The film strongly hints that Clea, a bunch of witches, the Scarlet Witch, and more are his followers. One of those followers even impersonates Peggy to manipulate Steve. Doom reveals his reasoning and true purpose to Steve. Doom's own family was lost in a failed experiment tied to incursions, and it was this that left him disfigured. He is confined to his mask and relies on his suit of armor to sustain his life. Steve's presence in the wrong universe is part of what set off the chain that led to his tragedy. Doom blames the multiverse.
Yeah, look, with them saying, listen, I tell you this. If they see him, especially Steve, if Steve sees him and doesn't say, Tony? You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be like, okay, what the is going on here?
Blames Reed. Blames Steve. And uses that grief to justify becoming what he is. His secret plan is to use the power he has amassed to reshape a new world from the ashes of the dying multiverse. In this world, he would live in blissful perfection, with all who defied him would suffer subjugation and punishment. He even removes his mask, forcing Steve to look upon his disfigured face, and Steve is, of course, surprised to see that he looks like Tony Stark. Now, this part is really interesting because this tells us, again, more context about it. Doom's plan from the beginning of the film is to make his own universe. So it's not like in the comics where it's like the last second they can't say.
That makes me happy. So if this leak is true, that makes me very happy.
Right?
It sounds like it's the end of the movie, cliffhanger time. Fine.
It's different than that.
Let's say because they better. I hope they better explain it. I don't care if they explain it in this. That's fine. I'm willing to wait. I can wait for Secret Wars for them to tell us why he looks like him.
And here it's the multiverse is a mess.
I assume it's some variant stuff.
Because of these people,
and that's fine.
I'm going to make one universe. Get rid of the multiverse. We'll just have one universe, and I'll rule over it, and it'll be great because I'll make people do what I want. Right? It says all who defy him will suffer subjugation and punishment. Right?
Suffer
so
subjugation.
That has a lot to do with, I think, what we've heard about him using the Scarlet Witch's powers to basically mind control everybody, right? So this is going to be his blissful perfection, as they call it, right? And you can't really defy him. And if you are strong enough, you'll be punished, right? So that's how Doom envisions everything. And I'm pretty sure that's what happens. And that's what we deal with later on in Secret Wars. I mean, we pretty much know Doom wins at this point in time. I think it's all but confirmed that he uses chaos magic in some way to control people. But this tells us that from the beginning, This is his plan. Now, I don't doubt that way before the events of Avengers Doomsday, he was actually trying to save the multiverse. I think that's why he was building a machine to try to stop the incursion, and then he would try to stop all incursions in general and save the multiverse. But at the same time, it is Doom. Sometimes Doom just cares about himself.
Go
A
too
lot of the
far.
times, Doom just cares about himself. So once his family dies and he's disfigured, it becomes about revenge, and it becomes about him wanting to control everything because he believes that he can do it better than anybody else.
You know what that reminds me of? The whole uh, injustice thing. How, listen, I was with Superman for a while in that. I was with him for a while. I think the part where I started to be like, okay, now he's really gone off the deep end was somewhere around the time he became a yellow light lantern. It was somewhere around the vicinity of that point in the story. I can't remember when. I have to read it again and catch up and keep going because I bought a few of the graphic novels that put it all together. There's probably more that I have to get, but kind of reminds me of that. I was kind of like fine with certain things that he was doing because he's held back for so long. But over time, he became more and more and more corrupt. It just reminds me of this. It was because of a tragedy, of course, with Lois and the Joker and anything. So of a tragedy, of course, with him losing his family, with Dr. Doom, and he's trying to fix things, and it just seems like he's willing to go to certain lengths at some point to where it's like, all right, now he's out of control type of thing. You know what I mean? Post the comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my reaction, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Oh, God, I can't talk. Subscribe to the Cosmic Wonder. 10 million subscribers. Woo!